and welcome to week 6. Congratulations on making it to our halfway point. We've been working on developing our dictation skills, our sight singing skills, and now we're going to start to put things together and use the different tools that we've been using together. So, for this week, we are going to be putting together our dictation skills specifically, and also our interval identification skills. And we get to do that by putting it all together into notating a worship melody. So when we're doing that, we're going to be putting together our interval identification skills, our melodic dictation skills, our rhythmic dictation skills, and then we'll also be singing it. So we'll be putting to good use our solfege. So today, to set you up for what you're going to be doing this week, which actually, let's talk about what we're going to be doing this week. So we're going to be continuing with our practicing of melodic dictation and rhythmic dictation because we want to keep those skills nice and fresh and sharp. But we are also going to notate out the melody and the rhythm of a well-known worship song. We're going to be doing How Great Is Our God by Chris Tomlin. You probably are familiar with that. If you're not, we have a recording that you can access and take a listen to. And you'll be referring back to that as you do the projects this week. So in order to set you up for what you will be doing, I thought we'd go over the chorus of the song together and practice putting our solfege to the song, figuring out what the intervals are, and then we will also notate it out. Now, you get to notate the verse melody. So we're going to work on the chorus. We're not going to do the verse. You get to do that part. And then we are also going to sing the chorus in solfege. Now, for the singing portion this week, you get to work on figuring out the verse and the chorus, which we'll do right now, and also the bridge. So you get to figure out the verse and the bridge in the singing portions on your own. But let's go ahead and dive into the chorus together. So now when Chris Tomlin sings this, he sings it in the key of C, but that is a little bit high. So I'm going to be doing our melody today in the key of G. Now, the nice thing is, with worship songs, we change our keys all the time depending on who the singer is. So we'll figure it out in one key. And then a lot of times people will change keys when they end up singing it. But that's very easy if we learn it in solfege. So let's go ahead, and this is just a reminder of what the melody sounds like. So here is the chorus of How Great Is Our God. How great is our God? Sing with me, how great is our God? And all will see how great is our God. So hopefully that sounds very familiar to you. Let's go ahead and start by plugging the solfege into these pitches and this melody that we already know so well. So this is our key. This is our home key, our tonic. So let's go ahead and find Do. If this is your chord, Do, there's our home key. Let's go ahead and sing through a major scale in this key. So I'm going to be starting on the lower Do. Do. So here we go. Here's our scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And back down. Do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. All right, very nice. So that's our higher Do. So when we start this chorus, we don't start on the tonic, do we? We sing, how great. So our second note is our tonic note. do. So let's figure out what this note is. So we can think of that interval, da, 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 da. Remember how we put songs to each of these intervals. Do, 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 do. So we can do this two ways. We can either walk down, do, 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 do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I hear that's a fourth. So do, ti, la, sol. So that would be the first part, how great. Sol, do. So that would be one way we could figure it out. Another way we could figure it out is to plug in those songs that we learned that go with every single interval. So we kind of take that one interval out of context of the whole song and we listen to just those two notes. Da, 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 da. And let's think of our different songs. I know that I can hear that it's larger than just a second, a note right next door. Da, 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 da. It's da, da, how great. So let's think of our songs that are, let's try out a third, fourth, or fifth and see what we think fits. So for a third, what was our song? Michael, row your boat ashore. Michael, row your boat ashore. Oh, no, that doesn't quite work. Da-da, Michael, doesn't work. How about the fourth? What was our song for the fourth? We have two songs we could do, Amazing Grace, the first notes of Amazing Grace, or the Here Comes the Bride melody. So let's try Amazing Grace. How great. How about Amazing Grace? Amazing Grace. Ooh, that sounds right. So that is another way we can find out what interval that is. Oh, that's a fourth. Okay, great. So I know that I end up on do. How great, there's my do. So now I know I start on sol, do. All right, so here we go. Sol, do. Perfect. So now, in this melody, if we think about singing it, we come back to certain pitches quite often. We come back to how great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. And all will see how great is our God. We come back to our do and sol, quite often. So we can use those as our foundational notes that we can figure the other ones out from. Okay, so we know we start on sol, do, how great is our God. So I hear I go back down to the sol, and then when I leap up, I go one higher than do. Sol, do, sol, re, do. And then sing with me, how great. Well, if that's my do, do, re, mi. Sing with me, how great. So we have mi, re, re, do, do. And then back to is our God, which is the same as we did before. Sol, re, do. And all will sing, same part as before. Mi, re, re, do, do. So, how great, da, da. Let's figure out that interval together. Da, da, which we've actually had before. Da, 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 da. This is our sol. Well, let's think of it in terms of our intervals. Let's isolate that one interval and figure that one out together. So if we know we start on sol, how great, la, da, sol, la, ti, do, re. Ah, there it is. Sol, re, sol, sol, do, and there we end up at home. All right, so now that we've figured that out, and this is how you can go through this process and just figure out every one note along the way. And if you get stuck on an interval, just isolate that one interval and go through your songs of the major and the perfect intervals and figure out which interval, what song that we know that goes with that interval works for that? Therefore, what is that interval? All right, so let's go ahead and go through our, sing through our melody in solfege. So here we go. Sol, do, sol, re, do, mi, re, do, do, sol, re, do, mi, re, do, do, sol, re, sol, sol, do. All right, so that's how we figure out what the solfege is for a melody that we already know. Now that we know what solfege it is, that'll be easy to plug in the notes once we get there. So now let's figure out the rhythm of this. Now, the rhythm of a worship song is fairly, well, actually, let me say it this way. We like to be a little bit off the beat in worship songs. If you think about it, we are not always right on the beat when we sing. A lot of times in worship songs, we like to be slightly ahead of the beat. And so we will probably have quite a few ties. We might have some dotted rhythms. So we just want to be aware of that coming into this dictation, which is why we want to be really comfortable in our rhythmic dictations with our 16th notes, with our dotted rhythms, and eventually now with our ties. So let's think about this, and I'll be writing this down as we go. Let's think about our rhythm here. Now, with every recording that you listen to of this particular song, you will probably hear some slight variations of the rhythm of the piece, and that's very common. That happens all the time. But we're just going to sing it as straightforward as possible. When you're doing this, I will give you a recording that you can use as a reference point. But let's just sing it through. We'll just sing it through together and go from there. Okay, so we know that we're in. I'm going to be in G major for this one, and we're in 4/4. So there's a couple ways that you can do this, and with our rhythmic dictations, a lot of times you want to be tapping somehow, either tapping on your on the table to just kind of feel the beat as you go, and that can be really helpful. So I'm going to get you started on the rhythm here, and then I will let you finish out the rest. All right, so here we go. So for this song, 1, 2, 3, how great. So we know that we start with a pickup, that we have a pickup there. So personally, I like to also conduct very rhythmically, just like a block, so that I can really feel the rhythm of the song. Okay, so for this one, we start off on beat 4. So if we think 1, 2, 3, how great. Now, listen how we sang 2, 3, how great. 2 notes, how great, before we came in. It was nice and even. 2, 3, how great. So those are going to be, we're going to make those 2 8th notes. And we're going to be tying across the bar line. So let's think of this again. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. How great is our God. So we probably hang on to maybe a half note. How great. Maybe give ourselves a little breath. 1, 2, 3 is our God. And again, pretty straight 8th notes right there. Great is our God. And we thing here where we just kind of, where we tie over the bar line. How great is our God? Sing with me, how. Okay, so then we want to figure out that one, that rhythm right there. God, sing with me, how. Sing with me, how. So we kind of can hear how that, we have it right on the beat. Sing with me, so that would be an eighth and 2/16. Sing with me. But it's not quite, we don't have a beat, a note right on the next beat. We probably have a tie right there. Sing with me, how? Me. Sing with me, how? So it sounds like 2/8 notes. Sing with me. Whoops. And then this guy's tied right there. So let me refresh our key. There we go. And sing with me, how great. Probably similar to what we did over here. Is our God. Oh. There we go. How great is our God? Oh, we'll see how. And there we can do, let's see, is our God, and all will see God, and all will see. We kind of have a little bit of syncopation right there. Move this over. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to, I think this guy is a dotted eighth, and then I think it's 2/16 here. That's kind of how I hear it. 2/16 there. And all will see. We'll see. How great. And then again on here. It'll be tied over. I'm just gonna finish it right here because we just have a couple more, about one more measure. And from here, and all will see how great. Oh, that sounds like 3 beats. Great, how great, and then a nice straight 8th notes right here. How great, and let's see how long we think this holds because it ties over again. How great. So probably two beats right there. How great is our God. And nice little breath. Breath. Is our God. And then that last note we kind of hold on to for quite a while. All right, so this is kind of a quick run through of this, but hopefully you can see how we we want to really feel every single beat. I like to conduct because it helps me know exactly what beat things happen on. And then I can also, and I like to snap because then I can hear how my words go with the beat as well. So I would encourage you to use these tools that we've been doing today. The singing, how we were figuring out the solfege, figuring out the intervals, and then on the rhythm side, how we were conducting, snapping, figuring out how these rhythms work. And just one more tip on doing worship songs. A lot of times, once you figure out the rhythm of the first several measures, you'll probably find similar patterns elsewhere because each song has a certain feel to it and a way that the words and the rhythms move. So you will probably run into similar patterns. For example, this pattern of tying across the bar line. How great, over and over and over again. We see this these notes tied over the bar line. So you will probably run into that as you're doing the verse. And when you're singing, you will probably, well, you won't be notating that. So never mind on the singing part. Have fun with the singing. All right. Blessings on you this week and have a wonderful week.